welcome once again to K-Pop Cosmos. I am your host, Freyja, and joining me once again is my co-host, Mark. Hey, Mark, what's up?
Hey, Freyja, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good. I am also doing great. I am very excited to talk about another first generation K-pop group.
Oh, yeah, this group, man, this is the group that everybody knows from back in the day. And of course, that group would be H.O.T. All right, so H.O.T. Oh, they were like the group. So they were the very first K-pop group or idol group, I should say. Of course, after Soteji, but we don't really count them, I guess. So H.O.T was the first idol group. They were created by SM Entertainment. And this group is like the building blocks, or I should say the pattern for K-pop groups in general. Everyone follows this pattern. So H.O.T actually stands for High Five of Teenagers. Oh, God, gotta love those names, man. It consists of five.
It cracks me up every time I see it because I'm trying to wrap my brain around high five of teenagers. Like, is that like the ultimate compliment? Like, if you see teenagers give each other a high five, that's like the best of the best. So that's what we're gonna name the group.
I don't know. It's just I always go like, what are they thinking? Just terrible. Terrible back in the day. But it was like, oh, but it gives us so much joy though now. So H.O.T consists of 5 members, and sorry about my pronunciation, guys. I am really trying. So it's Moon Hee-jun, Jung Woo-hyuk, Tony An, Kang Da, and Lee Jae-won. They debuted September 7th, 1996 under SM. And they disbanded in May of 2001. But they did have a reunion back in 2018. Their fan club is just Club Hot. Very, very original there, guys. And their fan club color is white. You know, because the hottest part of the fire and everything is the white part. So, yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, well, someone put some thought into this. They do actually have a light stick, honestly. Oddly enough, it's not anything all that special looking, but it's just this little ball that has H.O.T. You can't really see it, but it says H.O.T. on there. H.O.T. here. I was like, I feel like they're one of the only first gen groups to have a light stick, because the light sticks didn't come out until second gen. So this is kind of impressive that they have one.
The beauty of this design is that before there was such thing as a light stick for a group, everyone just had balloons. They had color balloons. So as H.O.T had their color is white, their fans had a white balloon. So everyone would just wave a white balloon in the crowd. So the fact that they made their light stick and it's like, hey, let's make it look like a balloon.
I know. It's great. It's a very simple design, but it's very, it's reminiscent of the balloons. It's great. I love it. So, on to the group members. Woot woot. So let me go back. All right. So our first member is Moon Hee-jun. He was the leader and the lead dancer, rapper, lead vocalist. He is 5'8". Let's see. His color, because I guess they have their own colors, is yellow. He was born in 1978. He was the second member to join H.O.T. Let's see. He was found. He and Lee Jae-won were actually friends, and they joined together. They were the second ones to join. The first member to join the group was Kang Da, and then so yeah, he and his friend were just found by Lee Soo-man, and so they joined together. which was very interesting in my opinion. Where is my stuff? There it is. And then let's see. His name is Gizmo, which was given to him by Tony. Of course it was. So I guess he's like the little gremlin of the group.
You know, I would say he's definitely the most unique looking member.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're trying to, at least when I'm trying to get into a new group and I'm trying to, figure out who is who and learn their names. He was the one that stood out the most because
yeah,
for the most intense looking, kind of wild looking member, and it's probably him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He dyed his hair like one time this like neon red color. It was kind of terrifying. To be perfectly honest, it really made him stick out. He did make a solo debut in 2001 after they broke up. Let's see. He likes pizza because everyone likes pizza. He liked math. He was a math nerd. Good job. He had the highest IQ of all the members. Yep. Math nerd. Makes sense. Oh, and in 2016, he announced that Heejun from Crayon Pop. Let's see. What is this here? So Heejun and X Crayon Pop. Nah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, okay. So Heejun and X Crayon Pop member Soyul were engaged, and they got married in 2017. And that is quite the age gap.
Yes, he's first gen and she was like third gen, maybe.
Yeah, she because he was born in 1978 and she was born, so I'm going through the she was born in 1991.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo! Yeah. So I think they now have like 2 kids, I believe. And they're still married.
Oh, that's so wow. You know what? I just put 2 and 2 together. I remember there was a member of Crayon Pop that like immediately left the group, like right as right when they were like, really getting hot and starting to make their next comeback. There was one member of the group that was like, "Oh, I'm pregnant." And I'm like, what the
You're not supposed to be dating. What are you talking about?
So now that she was like she was like not the star of the group, but she was definitely like more like the visual, I guess you could say,
yeah,
of the group. And I knew that she was dating an older guy, or she was going to get married to an older guy. I did not know it was this dude.
Yeah, it's like a 13-year age difference, man. Which I actually know people who are 15 years apart and they're married. They've been married for years. So like, okay, well, I mean, she was legal. He didn't groom her. Right. Okay. I'm fine with this. Whatever. Marry who you want to, guys. Wow. And yeah, I think they have welcomed their first daughter on 2017. I think they have a second one now. I'm not 100% on that. But they do have at least one girl. So that's congratulations, years later.
That literally just blew my mind. I can't believe I got the other side of this story, of this scandalous story from years ago.
Yeah. Oh, it was a scandal story. They're like, how old are you? What? I mean, people are making a big deal about Hichu and Momo's age gap. I'm like, yeah, just you look around, you find bigger age gaps, guys.
Seriously.
Yeah. All right. Our next member is, of course, Jang Woon-hyuk. Sorry, guys. I really suck at pronunciation. He was the main rapper, main dancer, and a vocalist, because everyone's a vocalist with SM. He was born in 1978. He is all 5'9". Oh, he's Buddhist. Cool. Let's see. He was 4th member to join H.O.T. Let's see. I believe he won first place in a dance contest, and that's how SM found him. He just won a dance contest.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they have eyes everywhere, man. Like when they're looking for anyone, you can be scouted getting on the bus in Korea. They have people everywhere. It's crazy. He, along with Tony and J1, formed the 3-member group called JTL after H.O.T's disbandment. So those 3 left H.O.T due to pay issues. So, and I thought this was nuts. So it came out later that they left because they were only making $10,000 per every million albums sold.
Yes.
And they only did 3 albums, and each of them sold like a little over 1 million. So they, like, through their career only made about, maybe more, but through album sales only about $30,000. That is nothing. Like, that is poverty right there. Like, that is insane. I would have left too. You know, I'd be like, no, I'm not gonna do that. That's working for nothing, man. His nicknames are Hammer Boy and Tough Guy.
Really?
Yeah. Looking at him, you wouldn't think so. Like, what? You're like, what? But I mean, you never know what he's really like behind the scenes, you know?
Yeah.
Let's see. He was the vice leader. He was like co-captain. He was vice leader. He also made his solo debut in 2005 with The Sun That Never Sets. His hobbies include biking, soccer, table tennis, and scuba diving, weight training. This dude is like doing all sorts of physical activity. Holy crap. He plays sports to relieve stress. Yeah. Likes Michael Jackson and Notorious B.I.G. Yeah, good choices there.
Good taste.
Yeah. And he can skateboard. Good job. I can't skateboard. I fall off all the time and I hurt myself. And then our next member is Tony. So Tony An, he was from South Korea, but he was the last member to join H.O.T, but he was in LA, I believe. Yeah, yes. He was in LA. And he auditioned in LA. So I guess he was living in these states. I actually saw Tony. He was in that show that I talked about with Monsta X that Shoni was part of, Lipstick Prince. Tony is also part of that show. And it's fantastic. He's the oldest person there. And he sticks out like a sore thumb. But he was great. He seemed to take things very seriously in that show. Like he wanted to make sure he got it right. He was the lead vocalist and rapper. He's Christian, and he was born in Korea. He's also 5'8". Let's see.
Yeah, he's also very easy to spot out of the
group
because of his ears.
Oh yeah. I think because of his ears, he got the name Monkey Boy. Yeah, so that's his nickname. I'm like, who comes up with these nicknames, man? Yeah. I guess he has a sensitivity to cold weather, which sucks. He did get in some legal trouble in 2013, along with Lee Sung-gun and Taki Jae-hoon. He got 6 months in prison. It wasn't anything all that serious. It was gambling, online gambling stuff. Oh. So, yeah. Well, I mean, at least he wasn't, sporting NFT scams.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, yeah. But Tony, come on, man.
There's this amazing documentary that came out, and they talked to like older K-pop idols, and he was one of them. So it's cool to see him like in modern day still kind of dressed like an idol. He had like the purple hair. I'm like, good for you, dude. Yeah,
you do you, man. Yeah, I like seeing the older idols around because they're really not that old. They're only in like their 40s, and that's not really old. Old is more like in your late 50s and 60s. Yep. That's when you're old. So you're not a baby anymore when you hit like 18 or 19. No, let's be real. When you hit 21, you're not really a baby anymore because you're paying for your own stuff. And then that's like your adult era. Is it 20s through to your mid 50s, and then it's your older era. But you can still move. You can still dance and sing and everything. And then we have Kangta. So Kangta is still active with SM Entertainment. He's stuck around, and now he's a soloist. He was the main vocalist, visual face of the group. He was born in 1979. He's 5'10", so he's like taller than most. He's the average height of an American male. And he was the first to join H.O.T. I don't even remember how they found him. He was at an amusement park with his family. I told you they're everywhere. They're everywhere. So he's like, hey.
That's got to be so weird. Like, hi, little boy. I'm starting a record label. Do you want to come and be a singer?
Hello, small child. That's the stranger danger if I've ever heard one. Oh, God. Jeez. Obviously, his parents were okay with it. They probably went with him to, do, the scout. He was 13 at the time, too. Right. He was singing and dancing with a friend at the theme park. So they're doing that thing that guys do. They just do, dance to the stupid music that's playing. Let's see. He's the only member still with SM Entertainment. His solo stuff is just amazing. Can I just say that?
Really?
He's so good. He performed during the SM, I always call it the family concert, but that's not what it's called, but the SM concert for the New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
And he did some stuff with NCT and he did solo stuff. He has an amazing voice. It's very much like melancholy, type of song type voice. It's very, what's the word? Calming in effect.
Okay.
So he's still killing it though. He's great. One of his. Mm-hmm.
I was just watching it was a game show, or not a game show, like a variety show, like a Korean variety show where it's not the mass singer, it's the hidden voice. I think.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Where they have like 6 people who all sing like one person, but the real person is there, and the audience has to try to figure out like who's the real singer. And I saw his episode. And I didn't realize his voice was like that unique because the people in the audience were like freaking out because everybody sounded like him.
Yeah.
And the best part is Tony was in the audience. And even he was like, I'm not sure I know which one is the real guy.
Oh, jeez. Come on, Tony. Come on, man. Oh, yeah. Kangta, I highly recommend his solo stuff. It's amazing. He also plays the guitar. Let's see. He's a composer. Let's see. He was originally a backup dancer for Heejun for Yoo Young-jin, which was let me pull up their thing. He was a male singer. And he was under SM as well. So.
I think he was like the first well, obviously, if he's before H.O.T, he's one of the first, but like like one of the first people to bring like kind of a hip hop vibe to music.
He was their vocal trainer too. He's the SM vocal trainer. But she's killing it, man. Those vocalists. You go to SM for the vocalists, like. Everyone can sing in K-pop, let's be real. But like SM has some of the best vocalists in the whole industry. And then and then of course YG has like the hip hop members. And then JYP has like, at least they used to have like the best performances and stuff. But yeah, they kind of like hone in on specific things. And SM definitely has like the best vocalists in their groups. So they're amazing. And let's see. Yep, check out Kangta though. Definitely. He's great. And then sorry, I couldn't find like I like this picture the best. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Lee Jae-won. So he was the maknae, so he was the youngest member. He was also a lead rapper and vocalist. He was born in 1980. And he's also Christian. His color is orange. Oh, I didn't tell everyone else's colors. Kangta was green. And Tony was red, and Jang Woo-hyuk was blue. Sorry, guys, I didn't say their colors. And then, of course, Lee Jae-won is orange. He was the 3rd member to join after Heejun invited him to audition as well. Let's see. He's part of the JTL group. His nicknames are Moonon, which means octopus, because he has a jelly body.
Yeah.
And Kukdari, because he is tall. He is 6 foot tall. So yeah, he's towering over the other guys.
Oh my God! Again, someone who's very easy to point out in the group. Like, oh
yeah, who's the tallest one?
there he is.
There he is. Let's see. He's a gamer. And dancer. I always love with like gamer. I'm like, oh, keep them away from those game cafes. You'll never see them again. Let's see. His habit is constantly shaking his legs, so he can't sit still. I understand that. He can twirl anything on his fingers. Dislikes non-commitment. Oh, he would hate me then. Favorite subject was English. He was voted prettiest if he was a girl.
Agreed.
Agreed. Yeah. In 2015, he was diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
Oh.
That's too bad. Poor guy. So yeah, that's the members of the group, and they had a comeback in 2019. They had to put it together themselves, I believe, because SM wasn't going to do it. So right. It sounds like an SM thing.
Well, considering that 3 of them like
ditched them.
Yeah, it was like, screw you, you didn't pay us. Sure, yeah. SM was like, hey, you guys want to do a reunion? Y'all do it yourself. We're
yeah. Done. Yeah, a lot of groups have to do that. Like, we're not, no, we have too much to pay for already. We're not doing that. So, they were in 2018. They were featured in Infinite Challenge, and they were singing it. They performed. It was pretty good, actually. Let's see. Yeah, and so yeah, that was kind of their. Yeah, and then 2018. H.O.T announced that they would be independently holding their reunion concert, Forever High Five of Teenagers, on October 13th and 14th in the Seoul Olympic Stadium, and they had over 100,000 attendees. Amazing. Which is impressive.
Amazing. I watched some of their kind of comeback, their reunion concert, and the most amazing thing about it, and it blew my mind. It absolutely blew my mind, is that because they're the first group or one of the first idol groups, you have to think about what a teenage girl was like, back in 96. Like if you're 13, 14 years old in 96, like you see these guys and you are like flipping out, right? You're like, oh my God, I love these guys so much. And then you flash forward to 2018.
Yeah.
And there's, they're all adult women, but they're still like crying.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is also that, South Korea didn't really have this,
Yes. Yeah.
This was new. This was exciting. The girls were like passing out in the streets for them and stuff, and it was nuts. But yeah, because the political climate, it was just crazy because they were moving away from like a dictatorship or something. It was nuts, and all of their music was like, "Yay, Korea!" And now they're doing like music like Sotaji and the Boys, where they're actually ripping on the country. Like they're talking about social issues, and it was their first song that they came out was the album was called "We Hate All Kinds of Violence." It sold 1.5 million copies, and yeah, the song "Candy's" on there, and it's like a bubblegum pop song, and they're wearing the like super baggy skiing outfits, which they asked one of the members, "Hey, do you ski?" He's like, "Absolutely not." I have no idea how to ski. But their first single, "Descendants of Warriors," it was a critique of schoolyard bullying, and the music video shows this kid getting beaten the crap out of, and then his girlfriend starts to get assaulted, so he gets up and starts to stop them from doing that, so they start beating him up again and then leave, and it's so sad. And then like it's such a difference, like Candy, bubblegum, then like Descendants of the Warrior, like sad, depressing, talking about something terrible. And but it really resonated with people. And then my favorite song, well, one of my favorite songs, was released later in '97, and it was called "Wolf and Sheep." Though that the album was called "Wolf and Sheep," but that was also the song. It also sold 1 million copies, and that one was banned.
Oh wow!
I was like, what? And so I found the lyrics to it, and it was talking about the Korean War that they are still technically currently in, and there was a critique of that, and the invaders are the wolves, and the general people are sheep, and they're just being tormented essentially. And it's a great song, but they banned it because of what they say. It was banned because of, where was it? Use of strong language. Okay. But if you actually read the lyrics, you're like, strong language? What are you talking about? They say damn like 3 times in the song. Like, oh my God. What are you talking about? But once again, you know, the culture of Korea at the time, like, it makes sense because they have a committee, a censorship committee, and they still have it. And it's just nuts what they, you know, ban it, you know.
Yeah, you got to really respect SM for letting their first song be talking about bullying. School. Yeah. Like, that's, you know, if you're going to introduce a quote unquote K-pop group to the world, and that's going to be like your lead single, like, that's a kind of a ballsy move.
Yeah.
So I'm, you know, and it's a pretty badass song too. It's pretty tough. Mm-hmm. And then you counteract that with Candy, which is light and fluffy and cute. And this whole time, like, I've heard that song probably like 20 times, right?
Yeah.
I've seen the stage performances with the big fuzzy suits, overalls, and all of that stuff. I never looked at the lyrics until recently. It's them breaking up with a girl.
Yeah. It's a breakup song.
It's a breakup song done to the cheeriest, cutest.
It's the happiest breakup song I've ever heard.
Seriously, like, what a concept. If you had just looking at the visuals, you never would have known that. It's like, oh, I woke up today and I feel different about you. I'm like, yikes.
Ouch, man. Ouch. Something you did, I just don't like you anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. Let's move on with our lives. It's nuts. Yeah, these lyrics, you look right at them, like, what? That doesn't fit the music.
But it worked. People loved that song, and the fact that they started a whole new like fashion trend with those fuzzy gloves, hats.
Oh God!
Amazing.
Yeah, it's great, and that song is so iconic that people still do covers of it. Like NCT Dream just dropped Candy. And I was listening to it. I'm like, why does that sound familiar? I'm like, oh, because it's an H.O.T song. That's why it sounds familiar. I'm like, also as critiquing the outfits, I'm like, what are they wearing? I'm like, what is that? I'm like, oh, okay, that's the best. But yeah, like their outfits are they're so 90s. Like H.O.T.
You look at all of the material that's being used on those pants. That is like 8.
You can make a tent.
Yeah, seriously, out of that one pair.
Yeah,
but it was the 90s. That was the style.
Yeah, I was like, oh God, I remember these clothes. Oh my gosh, so bad. Oh, and so going on to Lee Soo-man a little bit, the reason like everything resonates us, even though we weren't Korean, like style wise, was because he spent time and studied in the US, so he knew the styles and trends from America, and so that's why he put them on his groups, because he knew what it was. So yeah, I was like, oh, so that's why, you know, even though it was Korea and the fashions are different, it was very American. It was like, that's crazy. Another really good song that they released, well, all their songs are good, was, let's see. So Wolf and Sheep, when it came out, it was kind of impressive that they sold 1 million copies, because it came out during the 1997. Oh, they also released their Chinese album. And that alone, the Chinese sales, helped the group survive their little downward slump, because that was the year that the Asian financial crisis happened.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and that affected like all of Eastern and Southeastern Asia. It was nuts. I think they said it started in Thailand, but it affected everybody. Like Japan got affected, but it hit like Korea and the countries around there the hardest, though. So oddly enough, though, they bounced back immediately the next year. It was like this weird, like massive downslide for the economy in 1 year, and then went shooting right back up the next year. It's the weirdest looking graph. I was like, holy crap, it's like this V. Like, I didn't know the economy could do that. Oh, jeez. And it's just nuts. So they survived, due to their Chinese sales. And because they were so popular in China, everyone started to promote their groups in China. So, I mean, it was right off the bat like, oh, China can give us money too.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Then in '98, they started doing more hardcore hip hop, and they sold 1.1 million copies of their album Resurrection. Let's see. And they were accused of plagiarizing Killing in the Name of with their song lineup. And can I just tell you, I love Killing in the Name of, and I cannot hear it. I don't know what they're talking about. I listened to lineup and I'm like, I don't have any recognition for Killing in the Name of with this song. I don't know what they're talking about. Like, is it because they go like hardcore in the song? Like they start doing like the heavy guitar? Is that what they're talking about? I'm like, that's not.
It's got to be. There's got to be. I mean, I haven't listened to the song, but there's got to be somewhere in there. There's got to be like a hard guitar riff that's very reminiscent of.
Yeah, but I was like, I've heard so many hard guitar riffs in songs, so I'm like, it doesn't even go, oh yeah, that's from that song. I'm like, it's just a hard guitar riff. So if that's what they're talking about, I don't know what they're talking about. However, that song won International Viewers' Choice Award for the MTV Korea in 1999 and MTV Music Video, MTV Video Music Awards. And I think they were nominated the previous year as well for International Viewers' Choice. Yeah, in '98 they were for MTV as well. So they were first K-pop group, and they're already coming over here for MTV's award shows. That's impressive. That's really impressive because we didn't have YouTube at the time or any social media. So
yeah, internet was still in its infancy when these guys were making waves. So that's like hard money that they're earning.
Yeah, I was like, that's so impressive. Like, nowadays the group, they're like, oh, they're winning awards over in the US. I'm like, yeah, well, that's really easy now because we have social media, we have YouTube, we have streaming. You can stream from, wherever. Like all this international content is so easy to get now. So I'm more impressed with like the first and second generations, international accomplishments. Honestly, sorry guys, because they did it without that crap. None of that. So it's impressive. Let's see. They were also the first K-pop group to perform at the Seoul Olympic Stadium, and they had 72,000 fans watch them perform in 1999. Also, another great song, which is super sad, was Aya. And it was about the 1999 fire that killed kindergarten students in the Sealand Youth Training Center.
Oh, wow.
So that story was, so they had like 420 kids or something at this training center. 430 kids and their teachers, and 19 children and 4 adults died. So the building, they had like these containers, I guess. It was a concrete building, and they had these like containers that the roof of the containers were made out of styrofoam, and they're in the basement or something. Like it sounded like they put these containers down, and then they put wood flooring on top of them, and then and then they didn't have any fire alarms, and they didn't train the staff how to what to do in a case of a fire. The hallways were super thin or skinny, so it was like you couldn't get out, and the stairwells were super skinny and you couldn't get out. And then they said that the roads were too small that the fire engines couldn't get through them.
Oh my God.
It was like, and so a ton of people went to jail for bribery and for all these for bribing the inspectors, because they had inspectors of the building, and for bribing the inspectors to pass the inspection and all this crap. And then these other teachers were sued, and I think they went to prison because they had left the room, one of the rooms, like 301, they said specifically, they weren't there taking care of the kids. They just left the kids in the room, and they were out drinking somewhere.
My God.
And so the kids I think those were the kids that died, because one of them, they said the teacher that got out, they said they went through 301, but they couldn't open the door.
Oh, because the kids were inside of it?
Because the kids were locked in the room, and the teachers were gone, so they didn't have any like parental guidance in there. And when kids are scared, they lock the door and they go try hide, and the teacher couldn't get the door open. It was locked, so they just had to leave. It was awful. Absolutely awful. And yeah, some kids were like, so I woke up and the floor was hot and the chair was on fire. So I was like, holy crap. Jeez. But yeah, this song, I love that song. It's so good. But oh my gosh, that thing is just like prime. It's just corruption up through the chain of everything. And this is what happens, you know. It's just disgusting. It's so ugh.
Yeah. And you got to give respect to, again, SM Entertainment for wanting to bring the light to this horrible incident through what's arguably the most popular group, you know, around in South Korea at that time.
Yeah, they were using their group to like critique the government. And which was, you didn't do that. Sotaeji, like I said, Sotaeji was pretty much like the blueprint, and then they just expanded on it. But they were, you know, starting to really talk about the government because they weren't in a dictatorship anymore. They weren't afraid of being killed, you know. Also in 1999, they performed along aside with Michael Jackson and SES.
That blew, again, something that completely blew my mind, because you know I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, and if you know, look at K-pop throughout the years, obviously they respect Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? You know, his influence is very easily seen through K-pop, and I always wondered, did Michael Jackson ever get any kind of inclination that this world of K-pop was kind of not inspired by him, but you know, kind of borrows from him, kind of is inspired by him. And then when I found out that he had a benefit concert in South Korea that he put together, and that H.O.T was one of the groups to perform, I'm like, that's amazing. How amazing is it to be in a K-pop group and be like,
it's amazing.
We're on stage with Michael Jackson.
It's nuts. And SES was also there, which I think we talked about that. But it was crazy that once again, these guys are like the first K-pop groups ever, and they're on stage with Michael Jackson. Like, it's insane how much they were achieving at the time, you know, because I didn't know about K-pop back in the day at all, but apparently people knew them. You know, I wasn't on the in, I guess. And I need to find that performance. I really do.
Oh, I actually watched the whole concert is available on YouTube.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Michael Jackson, and he had, I believe, I'm going to say Luther Vandross and Mariah Carey was there. I believe SES starts off the show, and I believe H.O.T. I think they are one of the closing acts of the performance of the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta watch that. It would be awesome. Let's see. In 2000, they had their first concert in Beijing, China. There was 13,000 people there. Let's see. They released their 5th album, Outside Castle, as well. And the trailer for this movie is online, but they were in a sci-fi movie called Age of Peace. Did you watch the trailer for that?
No, I didn't watch the trailer, but I wanted to find the whole movie. I'm like, I need to watch it right away.
You can't find the whole movie. It's a lost it's a lost medium. Yeah, it's lost. The only thing we have is the trailer, and you'll understand why it's lost. I think SM wanted to get rid of it.
Oh no.
It's so bad. Because it's a 3D movie.
Yes.
So it's a 3D movie. They're not 3D. They're just themselves. They're not like, they didn't make avatars for them or anything. So they're in this 3D space, and they're playing like space soccer type thing. It is. And they're sliding like they're on skates.
Nice.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's on YouTube. I highly recommend you watching it. It's so bad. It's just like, you know that movie Food Fight or whatever it's called? It's like one of the worst movies ever made. It's like that type of 3D animation, but worse.
Oh,
so bad. I was like, oh god. I was like, no one, and nobody. It was not popular at all. I'm like, well, watching this trailer, I would be like, I can't sit through this. I can't do this. I don't care how much I love H.O.T. I can't do it. And then also in 2001 is when they disbanded due to contract issues. They didn't want to get paid $10,000 every million albums, and I don't blame them, because that would be like $30,000 their entire career, which is absolutely awful. You'd make more working at a fast food joint. And the fans were so mad that they did protest, which, I mean, didn't really do anything, to be perfectly honest. They hundreds of fans were at the company headquarters. They were throwing rocks at it.
Whoa.
Yeah. They blocked traffic and roads and stuff. There were so many of them. And yeah, people were pissed. But then, of course, people, moved on with their lives and found another group that they liked, and then, okay, that's what it is.
That's where YG Entertainment and JYP scooped right in. Like,
yep, they're like, hey guys,
look at these pretty boys over here. Oh,
look at G.O.D. Look, G.O.D. So it was, oh god, yeah. So they were not too happy with SM. Maybe it did do a little bit because BoA saved SM from bankruptcy in the early 2000s. So maybe it did do something a little bit. But then, of course, BoA came out and she saved SM, so that everyone kind of went back. So I mean, SM's still around. It was the original K-pop company, and it's still here. So Tony also owns a entertainment industry thing. I don't remember. he is the CEO though of a company. Entertainment company, so, which is a very popular thing for a lot of these ex-idols to do, because Psy does it. There's a lot of I believe the who was it, one of the Big Bang members opened a label. I think it's called the Black Label or something like that. I think he did it recently. But yeah, idols, they go in, when they're done being idols, if they want to stay in the industry, they choose an outlet. They become CEOs. I mean, Jay Park became a CEO of his own company, and he's uber wealthy, and he has a clothing line, and he has idols under him too. So, it's a popular thing to do. So these songs, these music videos, because it's a first gen group, they're hard to find. Did you find that? That's hard to find.
I was just about to say that, because they're not only first gen, they're like, pretty much the first. So finding any of their original stuff, it was very difficult, because a lot of that stuff, some of it has been remixed, because SM is doing this thing where they are remastering a lot of videos from back in the day, which is cool. But a lot of the stuff is really difficult to find. At least it felt that way to me.
Yeah, it was, because I was trying. I'm like, okay, where. Because I'm finding other bands do their covers of their songs and stuff. Yeah. Like, I need H.O.T. You can find their lives a little bit, but they're so bad quality. It is hard. But you watch these videos, you look at their hair, and you go, oh my gosh.
The hairstylist must have been just stand back, watch me work some magic, because their hairstyles were insane. And it's not one of those things where it's okay, we're doing something crazy, and then the rest of the world is going to catch up, and you see a bunch of people following it. I have not seen these hairstyles in any other idol groups at all.
There was one member, I think, in the music video Happiness, where they're all wearing the same outfit. His hair was bothering me so much, because he had the swoopy bangs going on, but then he had strands that were longer than the others, and I was like, oh my gosh, cut those, please. They're just there. I'm like, no, why are they there? This is so annoying. My OCD was kicking in. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate this hairstyle. But then their lives, oh my gosh, there was I think this was their 2018 life. One of them comes out with full on freaking hand claws, man. Oh, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, why? Like, oh, cool. But yeah, I love their lives. Some of them, I'm gonna be honest, you can tell they're lip syncing. I'm just gonna be straight up because they stopped singing, but their voices still keep coming out. I was like, okay, I'll give you. You guys were first gen was not expected to be dancers, and so they're trying to focus on the choreography. So I'm like, I'll give you that because I know you guys can sing, but you can tell they're lip syncing at some of their lines.
Yeah, but to be fair, they did a lot of choreography.
Yeah.
At the beginning, like their dance moves were like, out of a scale to like 0 to 100, they were at like 110, and they were like that through the entire song, which it would kind of amaze me because obviously if you're putting together a group, a boy group or a girl group, there's has to be singing and dancing and a lot of like stage choreography. These guys were going hard.
Yeah, they're doing some b-boy stuff.
Yes, seriously. So it's like, all right, I'll let them pass on the singing a little bit.
Yeah, I mean they have Jellyfish Man, like Miss Jelly Limbs, but like, yeah, they're fun to watch. At those baggy pants, man, I just can't get past the baggy pants. It's just my freaking childhood and all those movies. Like it felt like watching a 90s movie again. So, but yeah, so for music videos, they're so hard to find, but the ones I did find, I was able to find Candy, their opening, their come out their debut music video. I found that one. Candy, obviously, We Are the Future, Full of Happiness, and I think that's the only music videos I was really able. No, that was all I was really able to find. I think their opening, their original one, you have to search under Age of Violence to find it. And everything else I had to like watch their lives for. But it's just, I think my favorite music video was, I mean, their one about the bullying. That one was really good, but I think Candy was my favorite music video.
Really?
Because of the sheer like just weirdness of it. They have this girl, this I don't know, white girl. She's in like
a theme park.
She's in a theme park and she's dressed like she's in like a Dutch person, like stereotypical Dutch clothing. And I'm like, or German or something. But she's just kind of there, and every time she pops up, I'm like, did they tell her what they were doing in this music video? Because she's like, looks like she's kind of bored and lost and doesn't know what's going on the whole music video. And I'm like, this poor woman, does she know what's going on? And of course, one of the members, he takes his shirt off, and I'm like, oh, you're so skinny, you skinny boy. You're so tiny. I was like, but I lean muscle, man. But I was like, oh, cool. And I think they're trying, because the music video doesn't even match the song, because it seems like they're trying to impress her. But it's a song about breaking up, so I'm completely confused.
Exactly. I mean, it's a cool video.
Yeah.
I think the stage performance of Candy was what made the group more iconic. I think the video was okay, but it's them on stage and them doing their little dance moves. I think that's what really pushed it over the edge.
Oh yeah. There was an interview with, I don't remember who it was, somebody, and they were talking about how everyone started wearing the snow gear, like middle of summer, and people were walking around in the ski gear because H.O.T was wearing the ski gear during their performances for this song, and it was so big and so iconic. And they're like, yeah, I remember walking down the street as a kid and people were just wearing it, and I was super confused. I didn't know why. Like, oh geez, God. I couldn't imagine. Well, I mean, the 90s, we had some weird stuff over here too, but like,
that's true.
But not to that level. I didn't see people running around looking like Britney Spears, dressing up in the "Hit Me Baby One More Time" outfit. I didn't see that, but then again, I was in elementary school, so I wouldn't have seen that. So what music video would you say was like your favorite?
So there actually was one called it's called Outside Castle, Castle Outsiders. It's one of their later ones.
Okay.
And that's the one I really, really gravitated towards because it had a very like their sounds, their original sound is very hyper. It's very like lots of synthesized like horn stabs, lots of dun 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 dun,
Oh
like
yeah.
blood pumping. Outside Castle was definitely more of like a kind of blended all of their styles together. It was more of an R&B type of song, but it has like dance elements, and then right in the middle there's a hard rock guitar break.
Nice.
That fits, that just, and it all flows together. But like that video, I'm like, oh, okay. I really, really, really like this one. That's the one that identified towards, and it's again, it's like one of their later ones, so they've had a chance to experiment with the candy sound and the original like hardcore hip hop sound that they started with.
Yeah, I didn't find that one, but I did listen to that song, so it is a good song. I just didn't find that music video, but now I found it. It's where he has the red hair.
Yeah,
so, yeah, the super red. I saw the live performance of it too, so it was great. And they're wearing the black outfits and stuff. Yeah, I can see why that's your favorite. I guess I gravitate more toward the bubblegum crap sometimes. I don't know why, but also the absurdity of the music videos. Also, if it's a hilarious music video, I'll probably like it more. And then, like I said earlier, Aya was one of my favorite songs. So with Wolf and Sheep. Did you have any songs that didn't have music videos associated with them that you really liked, or you just like the performance the best?
Yeah, I figured because they're their first generation, I was just gonna get just through the music videos. Like that's how I was gonna connect to them, just by watching the videos first.
So okay, well that makes sense. I guess I just go way too far in doing research because I try to find the shows they're on and like the music video. Like I do music videos first, but then I go, well, this person was in this show, so I watch the show. I'm like, oh, they were in a movie, and I go find the movie. And then I do live performances. I just kind of get sucked in a little too much. I guess I have too much time on my hands when I'm doing these shows. But yeah. So H.O.T, do you have any final thoughts on them at all?
Yeah, we have to touch on the DNA necklace. Think of it all, because that's the part that's the thing that's like, even if you're not into K-pop, that's the part that like kind of made the news. Like these fans were so obsessed with this group that they wanted to just have a piece of them, just like try to snip their hair, just try to get a little piece of them. And this mom was like, why don't we tell them that we're giving them DNA, their DNA, and sell it to them and see how it goes? And people lost their mind and bought all of it.
Oh my gosh.
So
why?
Again, they are the blueprint of what we know as K-pop now. As far as like, we're gonna put these guys on everything and sell it to these screaming girls that want it. The DNA necklace is just that blew my mind.
I never heard about the DNA necklace. Was that like an SM thing?
Yes. Well,
okay.
SM started it. Lisa Mon started it, and then a few other groups and other labels kind of picked up on it. But it was such a big thing where they mainly had the guys give up some hair, blood, and like swab the inside of their mouths. They gave it to a company in Korea, science company in Korea, who stranded all of their, found their DNA codes, right? Because okay, this is the DNA code. We're going to not copy it, but we're going to kind of draw it out. This is what their DNA looks like, and then we're going to take that image and make jewelry out of it. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Like these pendants. So there was no like actual like DNA or anything like that, but the fans were like, yes, you will own a piece of your favorite idol.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at them. They're actually kind of cool looking, but what the what is this?
It was just a way to make more money, even though, because there's no way, like there is no way you would get a necklace and be like, okay, someday I'm gonna clone Kangta and make another version of him. Like there's no way that's ever gonna happen. But it was something that, you know, it's all a publicity stunt, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked, and I think that's amazing. It's like, oh, you love idols? Here's their DNA. Enjoy.
Oh my gosh. And they even had them color coded, it looks like some of them.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. This is hilarious. I didn't know this. Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it came up in a couple of different things that had nothing to do with K-pop. At least
that's nuts.
from what I saw. I thought it was just amazing.
That is amazing. That's nuts. It's freaking SM. Who comes up with this stuff? Because yes, we'll sell them the DNA. Because I thought that's just nuts.
That is the beauty of SM Entertainment. They are willing to push as far as they can to, you know, further the cause of K-pop.
Oh god, that's so amazing. I just god, I don't like companies, but I will respect that. That's that's genius. Oh god, you have these rabid fans. Why not sell them the DNA? DNA, quote unquote DNA. We don't, you know, that's what they said it is. Who knows what it really is.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, no one would be able to tell that you got the correct member's DNA code or whatever. Like,
yeah, you wanted Tony's, but you got Kangta.
Right. Who would know the difference? No one would be.
No one will know the difference. Oh my god, that's nuts. Oh god. So I can't top that with any closing thoughts because oh my gosh, that's insane. Wow. I guess all I'm gonna have to say is just Jesus, Sam. What the crap?
Well, luckily, it was a fad that didn't catch on. Like I said, they did it first, and then other labels tried it, and eventually someone was like, I don't know if this is morally correct. We probably shouldn't be doing this.
What's morals in business, really? Well, now they sell like this is so and so's jewelry, like it's designed by so and so. So I guess they kind of like just morphed it away from like giving them actual pieces of the idol to like,
exactly.
Here, this is something they designed. Have fun, have at it, you know, or it has their name on it, you know. Oh god, crazy SM man. Just so H.O.T, first ever boy group, iconic, did a lot of amazing things. MTV Awards. I think they won like 10. They swept all the awards. What was it? They said they were number one in 10 award shows, and like they swept for all 10 award shows constantly. Wow. So they're like first idol group to ever sweep number one in 10 award shows. I'm like, geez, it's insane. Yeah, gotta respect the first geners. They really like they started the path for all K-pop. They were the blueprints. Yeah. Next K-pop generations like added the rubble or the dirt, and then they added the pavement, and now they're adding the paint lines. Just they keep adding on to each other and achieving newer and greater things. But you gotta respect the ones who came first, who started it all. So awesome job, H.O.T. And I promise, guys, we'll stop talking about SM. I know there are other companies out there. We'll talk about them. I promise. I promise. So, thank you guys once again for joining us. I'm Freyja, and you can catch me on any UCPN Definitive Crusade, where we talk about all things DC Comics. And what have you got going on, Mark?
Yeah, you can catch me and my co-host every week on So Wizard Podcast. Every week we talk about nerdy stuff. Coming up, we will be talking about all of the trailers that would have dropped around the Super Bowl time, including Fast and the Furious Part 10.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my God. I can't wait.
Oh, my gosh. How many? Just so many Fast and Furious movies. Awesome. All right. Well, once again, see you guys and have a good month.
Bye, guys.
Bye.